Good morning, guys. Welcome back to another trading session. I hope you're doing well today. Yesterday I was about to stream, but honestly, life got in its way, and I was not able to stream yesterday. I'm sorry about that. Well, I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a great weekend. It's supposed to be a bigger weekend since Monday was Memorial Day on United States, and because of that, the markets tend to do nothing on holidays. So yeah, I hope you're doing well. I hope you are having a great week, and yeah, let's see what the market can bring us today, and let's see what can we expect from it as well. So first of all, I would like to point to another AMD here. As usual, here you have your consolidation at Asia. Then eventually you have your manipulation on London. Just let me. I have always this problem. I always have this problem. Yeah, just let me. Okay. Yeah, seems like I need to. Seems like I need to create some new ones. So here you have your. Don't mind this time distortion that is written here. This is the accumulation. This is the manipulation that got into London and a bit further. We got the accumulation. The manipulation started right at 2, and yeah, it went to 5:30. So, and now we shall eventually expect not a consolidation, but an expansion. So this shall be the profile. Unfortunately, price did a run to the upside here right before the open and right before 8:30. So we might have already hit the draw liquidity here, the main draw that was these relative equal highs here. And now what can we expect from price action now, right? What can we eventually expect from it, since it already took buy side liquidity as drawn liquidity? Well, whenever price reaches its drawn liquidity right before the open, it's quite difficult to frame anything, because the draw is hit. We still have some draw here. This buy side liquidity, if you look into the 15-minute, you can eventually see here 15-minute drawn liquidity here as this this high here. But yeah, it's kind of tricky, because right now we are as well consolidating here, eventually accumulating for another boost to the upside. I'm bullish, so that's what I'm expecting, a continuation to the upside. But at the same time, it is allowed for price to do some kind of a retrace, because there is still some imbalances here. There is still this low here, the pre-market open low, just to take as well. So it is allowed for price to come a little bit down to the downside, but I would not like to see price come way below midnight open. If we come until midnight open, yeah, that might eventually be accepted, but as a wick, it might be accepted, but I'm not expecting that, honestly. Um, I would like to see how price reacts as soon as it takes this low right here. If we take it, um, this is what I would like to see. I think we will take out this low. Yeah, but in the meantime, we just have to wait. We have to keep in mind that at 2 p.m. we will have FOMC minutes. FOMC minutes is not that the type of FOMC heavy action, where you have uh, Jerome Powell speaking and everybody's speaking and telling you something about the economy. Um, yeah, this is a lightweight news driver, a lightweight version of the FOMC. Um, so I'm just curious to see how price will react until there as well. Notice that we are inside the end walk for ES, which can eventually do some high resistance, provoke some high resistance on ES as well. So yeah, I'm not expecting anything. As you can see, I will probably demo this session because I honestly don't expect much from price action since the main draw is already taken here right before New York AM session. So yeah, I cannot expect that much from price when we already took the drawn liquidity right before the open. So yeah, I will probably be a spectator here, or will do something on on the demo. But yeah, that's the plan action for today's action. The bias is bullish. I would like to see price trade a little bit further down. It would be perfect if we hit midnight open. I don't think we will, but yeah. And then eventually displays to the upside, giving us that usually breaker structure, inverting some bearish PD arrays as well. So that's the type of action that I would like to see right at the open for a bullish bias. I'm just looking at the at NQ. NQ is doing a similar job here. Yeah, it's doing a similar job here. So no asymmetries right now, no SMTs. Uh, they are just doing a symmetrical job here. So right now there is 1 minute left to the open. Oh, just notice how price just created this 4 hour fair value gap here. It retraced once, boom to the upside, right at the midpoint of the end walk. Then it manipulated to the downside, touching it once again, not reaching for the midpoint of it. So this is some type of a bullish um, signal here. Whenever you have a high time frame PD array that's not traded into the bottom half of it, so this is some type of a bullish signal as well. So yeah, that's why we are bullish today as well. But honestly, I would like to see some manipulation to the downside first, and then eventually price taking a up move. So this is the candle. This is the open. Quite curious because the open is right above 9:30 open is right above. It's not right above. It's at the same point as the 8:30 open, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just try to be more precise here with this, but yeah, it's right to the tick. Look at it. Look at it. 8:30 open here and 9:30 open. And for those who don't believe in an algorithm, well, this is another signal that eventually the algorithm is still there somewhere. So 9:30 is open. I will wait a bit for the first presented fair value gap as well. I will mark here the 950 to 1010 macro as well. 950 to 1010. There it is. And we'll also mark the 4-hour candle high, which is this high right here, and the 4-hour candle low, which is, it's not this high low right here, but it's the 6 o'clock here. Yeah. I really don't expect price to reach for this sell side here as the 4-hour candle low. I'm just marking it on the charts just to have a measure and to see how price can eventually respect the midpoint in between buy side liquidity and sell side liquidity as the 4-hour candle highs and lows. Yeah, that's just, this is just for metrics. I mean, okay, I'm not I'm not trying to say that okay, we will probably take sell side liquidity here before getting to the upside. No, that's I don't believe we will go that lower, but anything can happen in these markets. So if you look at the 15 minutes, the 15 minute has a consolidation structure. Um, let's see if price can eventually get out of this uh, consolidation structure, which is this structure right here. As you can see here, this is a consolidation and anything can happen inside of this green box. So I would advise you not to take any actions when price is inside a box like this. Try not to take any actions. Try not to take or or play any breakouts as well, because usually price tend to do things like this. It comes it comes out, but then it retraces back in, and yeah, and it starts to play with you, and then you think, yeah, okay, it will go down, but honestly, it will go back to the upside, and yeah, it will trick you a lot before taking any real direction. That's why I'm not convinced that price will right away take this box out and get out of the box in a one take. Um, we will have to wait for some type of confirmation. So whenever price is just like this, consolidating inside of some type of a box, a rectangular box, a rectangular shape, yeah, just take your hands out of the trigger and wait for price to do anything, because it's not wise to take any action and anticipate anything. As you can see here, um, price is debating if it wants to come out or not. So keep that in mind and act accordingly to what price is really doing. So so far not any first presented fair value gap here. nor any in NQ. So not NQ, not ES. They haven't presented us with the first presented fair value gap. Still, we still have to wait. So I'm kind of curious to see if price really wants to take a direct action here into buy side liquidity, or if it will manipulate a bit to the downside first and then reach for buy side liquidity. That would be the ideal scenario, because if you come out of this box straight away, if we come out of this box straight away, I don't think it will be. It will be something like this eventually, um, and it's always tricky to participate in something that is moving like this, because if you look at these runs to the upside, they leave a lot of liquidity here, and whenever things like this happen, you can eventually expect price. I don't know. Imagine the price is just take me. Let me just take here another measure of, yeah. Imagine that price is trading like this, and yeah, suddenly you will get spiked out, boom, like this, and if you position your stop loss right here, you will get hit. Yeah, and it usually does something like this when price do these runs, these creeping runs to the upside. Those retraces usually takes us out, um, and that's why I don't like to participate in on those moves. Yeah, but so far price is doing another high, so another high for I will refresh this high whenever it's necessary. Yeah, price doing a quick run here, displacing to the upside. It will probably reach for buy side liquidity here, but as you can see, there's nothing we can play with here. Um, there is no entry yet. So this might be the first presented fair value gap here. This is a big boy. We have just 25 seconds before this candle closes. Let's see if this will eventually be the first presented fair value gap or not. There we go. So first presented fair value gap here on the upside. midpoint of it being tested here. So if we leave the midpoint to the upside, so imagine that we just test the midpoint and then retrace right away back to the upside. That would be a good sign of bullishness. So price still debating with the first presented fair value gap here. There's some minutes before the macro as well. So let me just check here one thing. Yeah, we have this volume imbalance here down below. But yeah, this would not be a good trade, even if we go to buy side liquidity right away. This would be a 1.63 risk to reward ratio. So that's not good for. I think you should at least demand at least a two, one to two, 1 for 2 risk to reward ratio. Otherwise, if your ratio is not, if you are not, if you are not demanding with your ratio, yeah, you will eventually suffer the consequences. You have to be very demanding with it. And yeah, price is really inside the first presented fair value gap. Notice how so far we are not able to close below the midpoint of it. But yeah, this volume imbalance here was kind of suspicious because price really tends to come back. And notice how I say it and how I told you not to play breakouts. Yeah, that's the reason why you should not play these types of breakouts here. I told you about it because honestly, whenever you try to play a breakout like this, price will not do it in the first try. It will entice you, it will deceive you, and it eventually it will take some decision, but the first actions are always or are usually to deceive you and to manipulate you into something. So price came to the volume imbalance here. It rebalanced it. It seems like it's kind of weak now. Let's see if the first presented for value gap gets respected as an inversion PD array, or if it trays above it once again. See, price came once again back inside the range. This was a tricky situation here, as I was expecting. That's why I decided not to engage and told you not to engage with it. Usually, these breakouts are not done in the first attempt. The first attempts are usually some type of manipulations. And it seems like we are heading to these lows here, or we can eventually play once again inside the range. So at this point, we will have to wait a little bit more just to see if price wants to play inside a range or if it wants to come out of it, um, or if it wants to get up once again. It can eventually happen as well. Right now, we are 1 minute to the macro. So I believe next draw on liquidity is here next to these the lows here. Yeah, I was watching now NQ, and NQ took the buy side liquidity that um, ES was not able to take out. So we got some measure of an SMT here. So NQ already took these lows as well. And now we are inside a macro. So let's wait and see what price really wants to do here. Honestly, this is a tricky environment. Right now, breakout players have been tricked and punished. And it can eventually happen that short players might get tricked here and punished as well. So since we already took these lows right here, we can eventually go back to the upside. So this would be some type of a double purge where price is purging the upside and purging the downside as well. So let's see if price really wants to invert these bearish PD arrays or if it wants to respect those. This shaded area is the end walk. So price just retested the midpoint of the end walk. Let me just check here. I need a size calculator. So right now we are inside a macro. So let's see if anything will happen. Bearish PD arrays so far being respected. Notice that we are inside of a 15-minute fair value gap here as well. It seems like price really wants to get a little lower. Well, at this point, I'm allowing for price to do something like this, come back to the order block here, and eventually dive lower if it wants to dive lower. Because this is a tricky spot to go short, since you already ES already took these lows here, and we are inside of a bullish 15-minute PD array as well. So that's why I'm allowing for price to dig a little bit lower and eventually giving some signs or some structure that it wants to really come lower. And since my main bias was kind of bullish, that would be a position that was not in conflict with my bias. So that's why I'm allowing it to deliver the way it wants. And but yeah, price is still inside the range here, as you can see. The green box is still active. These bearish PD arrays has been left open. This one is respected to the tick. Now let's see if price really wants to come lower. There we go. So trying to respect here the bearishness of this fair value gap here, but coming right back into the range. So I believe we are trapping some short sellers here eventually, because this type of action, whenever we are wicking outside of some consolidation, mm, I don't trust these types of moves that well. I would like to see a close here below and eventually come back to the order block. But as you can see, price is trying um, to maintain its position inside the order block here. So now we are talking about good displacement to the downside here, touching midnight open. So let's see if we will have some type of continuation here, or if I'm one of those trapped sellers. So I'm positioning myself with a stop above the order block here. Yeah, but not liking how price is really trying to get get back to the order block, retesting it once again. It's not how you would like to see your short positioning play out. So let's see if we can get another run to the downside, but honestly, I'm not very convinced about this price action here, honestly. And since we are right at the bottom of the end walk, it can face a little bit of difficulties to get out of this range. Yeah, so price is just mumbling around here. We still have 5 minutes to go inside a macro. So let's see if we can do another low here. But as you can see, price is not able to get below midnight open. Midnight open is really holding as the support right now. So I'm guessing that price wants to maintain midnight open as support right now. Well, at this point, I will just protect this position. If it wants to rip higher, it probably will, but I don't think it's worth it to wait for it without protecting myself here. So let's just see. So price really debating here with midnight open, as you can see here. A price wicking below midnight open, but midnight open still acting as support here. So I presume that it won't go lower. We have an SMT right now with NQ as well. So at this point, I will just close this one. I don't think we are primed to go lower. Too much support here at midnight open and at the bottom of the NWalk, and this is the perfect environment, honestly, to trap short sellers. So that's why I quit the position. And I was saying in the beginning of the stream that I was not expecting eventually to come here down below. It could eventually happen, but that was not my expectation. So right now, this is an SMT in between ES and NQ. So if ES really wants to come to the upside, I want to see an inversion of some PD arrays. This one right here. And I believe so, since price is really time distorting here. Well, and the macro didn't deliver as we really wanted. Yeah, but right now we are some type of time distorting. Really want to see if price really wants to come for another stretch to the downside. But on the other hand, I'm not that convinced because it's taking too much time here, and it should deliver a little bit faster. So far, no surprises on price, honestly. I was expecting hard conditions, and yeah, these are hard conditions. The macro didn't offer us anything clear. Price is just doing some type of a barcode here, which is not ideal for us to trade. So that's why I decided to get out of the trade. Even if we come lower, I don't care. I don't mind about it. Um, the SMT between ES and NQ is still active. But yeah, so far another session with boring price action. The first minutes of the session were quite intense here. A lot of people try to. I can see a lot of people trying to get engaged with this price action here, believing that's a breakout. But I anticipated it and told you guys not to engage with it because usually price does not do breakouts on the first attempt. So and this can eventually be a fake breakout too. If you look into NQ, NQ is a bit is not that heavy, is a bit stronger than ES, but um, it's not melting as ES is now. So this SMT makes no sense here, and price really retesting the 4-hour fair value gap here probably. We are below midnight open, so now I'm curious to see if price really wants to stay below midnight open or if it wants to start some type of a reversal. If this bearish PD array gets inverted, I will keep my eyes on it. See, back up once again. We still have SMT with NQ as well. So if you look at the low, NQ did not make any new low, while ES made a new low with this candle here, and the low from that is prevailing on NQ, it's still this one here, which I'm pointing at. So in order to engage with some type of a reversal, I would like to see some displacement to the upside. That's not enough here. An inversion of this fair value gap, it's not enough for me. Since we have some more liquidity, if you look at your left here, we have some more liquidity here. Price can continue its way down with this type of behavior. But yeah. On a leg down here on ES. And as soon as we take sell side liquidity as the 4-hour candle low up, we'll see what price will do. This was not the scenario that I was expecting, honestly, but it really gave us the sell side liquidity as the 4-hour candle low. So yeah, let's see. Now this is the I think that this is the best opportunity to trap some short sellers. If you look at the price action, it's really trapping someone here, honestly. So price back into midnight open. Right now we have some type of a breaker here. Let me just mark this one out. And let's see if this one holds here as well. Nice reaction here. So yeah, I believe we will go higher since it took a lot of time to do some short moves, some bearish moves. It didn't deliver, honestly. So at least we will try to go for the fair value gap here or the order block as well if this one holds. It doesn't seem to be holding. The breaker didn't work. The fair value gap that was averted did not work as well. So we might get another run to the downside, taking out this sell side liquidity here. Yeah, this one will get stopped out most probably. But yeah, these are some type of hard conditions. Yeah, it seems like price will do another run here to the downside. Price action is kind of thick here, doing a lot of back and forth, back and forth. Which is allowing price here to take the sell side here as the 4-hour candle low. And then eventually wait for something to happen. Yeah, yes, doing another low, NQ, maintaining the old low. So this is another SMT here with NQ. NQ did not take the 4-hour candle low, while ES just took it. But yeah, price um, is not acting as it was supposed to act. Honestly, it's just thick price action that is in a back and forth state. It's kind of tricky. I don't like to play on days like this. That's why I decided to demo today, and I'm glad I did it, honestly. Yeah, coming for once again the 4 hour candle low here. While NQ is, I don't think it is. Yeah. So ES is way heavier than NQ, and my stop will probably get taken out here. There we go. Yeah. Honestly, I was not expecting a run to the downside like this. That was not part of my plan for today's action. But yeah, sometimes it happens. So another fair value gap here, right after taking 4 hour candle low. And at this point, we still have these lows right here. They can be taken as well. Let's just see how it goes. Price once again respecting the bearishness of the fair value gap here. So since NQ still has some room to go as well, I guess we can eventually anticipate something lower. This is a big fair value gap, and here we have a good reaction on this fair value gap here. If we are able to invert this, this is what I was waiting for. So if we are able to invert this, we might get an entry for a long here. So nice displacement here to the upside. This would be somehow low-hanging fruit. We have another one here. Let's just see. We already took buy side liquidity as sell side liquidity as the 4-hour candle low. Mhm. Let's see if this uh, inverted one just holds here or if it will fail. Yeah, seems like it will fail this inverted one here. Price is not reacting to it the way we should see it react. yeah, it seems like price will go lower from here as well. Or not, seems the price just came here, took the stop out and retraced back into it. So yeah, it's a day where we will have FOMC at 2 p.m. So yeah, this is a type of price action that's hard to get in. You have to have a a permissible and large stop loss to eventually play anything. Um, oh, as well. Yeah, I'm glad I'm demoing as well. I'm glad I'm demoing. Honestly, I was just anticipating this price action on the pre-section session. That's why I decided not to go anything live. Honestly, yeah, but as you can see, price is just entering a 4 hour fair value gap here. Um, so it is permissible for price to come a bit lower, um, reacting eventually to the midpoint of it. I decided to took this buy here just because we just because price took out the 4 hour candle low, and yeah, it didn't work. Probably I would have to wait for something bigger on the displacement side, eventually taking out these highs here. And yeah, price will dig a little bit lower here, displacing once again to the downside. So, well, so far my bias was kind of wrong for today's action. I was expecting a move to the upside. Uh, I've got quite suspicious about this run here, right at the right at right at the open. Um, this was the Judas swing that ICT talks about. Um, it displays to the downside, but I entered a short here, but yeah, I got stopped out here right at break even because price was zigzagging a lot, and this move to the downside was kind of not a clean move. It is it is kind of hard to maintain some type of position when you have these displacements to the upside. Just notice how price just displaces here whenever it does a new low. So it's kind of hard, but yeah. And right now, if you look into NQ and into ES has been in a downtrend, and NQ is almost barcoding. It's a horrible price action. Um, NQ is almost holding ES here. If you're looking at it, it just moved about. Just let me check here. Yeah, it didn't move much. It moved about 50 points, so it's nothing for NQ. While ES moved about 16, is it's not a lot as well, but the way it moved, it's not the best one, honestly. And we are approaching 11 o'clock as well, so 11 o'clock is always a time where usually the traders just stop what they are doing, and grab their coffee and eventually close the morning. Another run here, taking out the sell side liquidity on London low. Yeah, the hourly candle is quite bearish. It engulfed the bullish one, the 6 o'clock in the morning candle, um, and it is now retracing back into almost 50% of the hourly range. So price is digging lower here, finally touching the midpoint of the 4 hour fair value gap here. And yeah, well, the first projection here that I made on the first minutes of the stream were not that imprecise. I was expecting some kind of a accumulation, manipulation, distribution type of action, and in fact, we got it. Asia was accumulating, London just manipulated to the downside, and then we got some type of a distribution to the upside. Um, the majority of it happened right before the open. So whenever that happens, it's always tricky. But yeah, we got some last leg to the upside here. Price trying to get out of the end walk, but then it got rejected, inverted the first presented fair value gap. And here I decided to switch my bias because my bias was kind of um, bullish. I decided to switch my bias and try to get into shorts. But yeah, price just uh, price just took a long time to get out of the end walk, and even if it came out of it, it didn't deliver the way I was expecting it to deliver. So then I tried to go long here when it presented this breaker. It got rejected once again, and yeah, and then I'll try here right after taking sell side liquidity as the 4 hour candle low, and it got rejected once again. Well, meanwhile, NQ is just moving sideways. It didn't deep that well that much, honestly. Um, but yeah, that's the action. That's the action for today's price action. Honestly, boring action. And the only thing that was clear here was eventually this one here. As soon as we inverted the first presented fair value gap here, it was a clean move to the downside, taking out these lows. But otherwise, other things than that, it really didn't deliver how it was how it was uh, I mean how it was supposed to deliver. So right now, price just reacted to the midpoint of the end walk of the first of the 4 hour fair value gap here. NQ right now has a massive low liquidity run to the upside, um, which is all this liquidity here. A lot of sellers just put their stops right above these highs. So at some point, I would like to see price go for them and try to punish those shorts. So good reaction here. I would like to see price coming above this fair value gap here. And retrace back into it. Nice reaction here from the midpoint of the 4-hour bullish fair value gap here. So this can eventually give us some clear move to the upside since we are below this low resistance liquidity here. In fact, it is a high resistance. The downside is a high resistance, but the move back up can eventually be a low resistance. Price came out of the bullish fair value gap here. It's reacting to the inversion. This 1 year right of this 1 year, this bearish 1 year, and we kind of did a breaker structure here as well. Let me check the 2 minute. Yeah, the breaker is right here, as you can see. So sell side liquidity was already taken as well, as you can see here. So this is another measure of sell side liquidity. Yeah, but seems like price don't want anything but longs today. Mhm. We get this volume imbalance here, the order block here. Let's see if the volume imbalance will hold price or not. But yeah, price don't want anything with longs today. And I guess I will end the stream here as well. It's been yeah, it's been 2 hours already. So I'm glad I demoed today. So I was expecting a harsh price action, honestly, because we will have FOMC at 2 p.m. So keep that in mind. It can eventually do some damage to your account, as you can see here on the demo. Um, but yeah, thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for supporting as well. And I will eventually be here tomorrow at the same time as usual, in between 9:15 to 9:30 a.m. New York local time. So yeah, keep that in mind and give it a like, give it a subscribe, and see you tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you.